Is Shedeur Sanders headed to Canada? CFL's Toronto Argonauts could be his backup plan. Shedeur Sanders is a man on a mission to be the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback in 2025. While no one doubts the young QB's talent, his future in the NFL is far from guaranteed. Luckily, if things don't go as planned, a surprising safety net is waiting north of the border in the CFL. The Browns' quarterback room is one of the most crowded and complicated in the league this offseason. Veteran Joe Flacco, fourth-year QB Kenny Pickett, third-round pick Dylan Gabriel, and Sanders' son of NFL legend Deion Sanders are all battling for the starting role. Adding to the chaos, Deshaun Watson remains on the roster with a $230 million 0-cents contract, even though he's out for the entire 2025 season due to injury. Since most teams carry only 3 quarterbacks during the regular season, Sanders' path to the top spot just got a lot steeper. And he has a season and then a season path that's got a lot steep, and that's where Canada enters the picture. Could Sanders really jump to the CFL? The Canadian Football League recently released its updated negotiation rights list, a document that reveals which teams hold exclusive CFL signing rights for certain NFL players. In a twist that caught fans off guard, the list confirmed that the Toronto Argonauts now own Shedeur Sanders' negotiating rights. Now, that doesn't mean Sanders is packing his bags for Toronto just yet. It simply means that if he ends up without a spot in the NFL and decides to explore options in the CFL, the Argonauts would be the only team he could sign with. Still, as Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio put it, none of it matters unless and until Sanders washes out of the NFL and decides to roll the dice north of the border. In other words, for this Canadian detour to happen, things would have to go very wrong in Cleveland. But let's not rule anything out just yet. If Sanders were to take the CFL route, he'd be in good company. Several former NFL stars found their groove in Canada before returning stateside to shine, including Chad Kelly, Doug Flutie, Warren Moon, and Joe Theismann. August 26 is the key date to watch, as that's when NFL teams must trim their rosters down to 53 players for the regular season. That's when we'll know if Sanders has secured his NFL dream or if his next chapter will begin under the bright lights of Toronto. In the high-stakes world of football dreams and draft boards, few names have resonated more in recent years than Shedeur Sanders. The son of NFL legend and Colorado Buffaloes head coach Deion "Primetime" Sanders, Shedeur has carved his own legacy as a dynamic quarterback with poise, vision, and the tenacity to silence critics. But as the 2025 NFL draft inches closer, whispers have begun to circulate. What if Shedeur doesn't go as early as anticipated? What if the NFL doesn't come calling right away? That's where the Toronto Argonauts and the Canadian Football League step in with a curious, compelling possibility. Could Shedeur's path to greatness take a temporary detour through Canada? An NFL scout anonymously commented, "He's got the arm, he's got the charisma, but I'm not sure he's ready to lead a locker room full of grown men just yet." Fair or not, the perception matters, and if the NFL doesn't offer him a starting gig, or if he's asked to ride the bench as a clipboard quarterback, a bold option north of the border could be waiting. Toronto Argonauts, more than a plan B. The CFL may not have the glitz and glamour of the NFL, but has been a launch pad before. Doug Flutie, Warren Moon, and Jeff Garcia all found glory in Canada before finding success in the NFL. And the Toronto Argonauts, one of the oldest and most storied franchises in football history, could be the ideal stage for a star like Shedeur to hone his skills and his brand. Toronto has a deep pocket ownership group, a vibrant media market, and a quarterback situation that's in flux. If they see an opportunity to lure a high-profile American QB, particularly one who brings with him a social media following in the millions, they'd be foolish not to make a pitch. According to league insiders, quiet conversations may already be happening. A source close to the Argonauts front office said, "We've got eyes on him. Whether it's next season or the one after, we're prepared to make him an offer if the NFL doesn't." A brand in search of a battlefield. It's impossible to talk about Shedeur Sanders without acknowledging the media machine that surrounds him. His social media posts regularly rack up more engagement than some pro teams. He rides in Rolls Royces, wears diamond-studded watches, and carries a confidence as unmistakable as his last name. But what he also wants and needs is game tape. In the CFL, he could get it. Imagine Shedeur Sanders in a league known for its fast pace, wide open offenses, and three-down urgency. Picture him firing bombs under the lights of BMO Field, scrambling outside the pocket, waving defenders off with a flick of the wrist, and doing it all in front of a loyal fan base, hungry for another Grey Cup run. He wouldn't just be playing football, he'd be growing, proving, evolving, and he'd be doing it in a professional league that could polish the raw gems of his game, decision-making, pocket presence, anticipation, while keeping him in the spotlight. Coach Prime's influence. Of course, no conversation about Shedeur goes far without mentioning his father. Deion Sanders has been vocal about his desire to see his sons go pro the right way, not just quickly. "We ain't in no rush," he said in a post-game press conference. "We're going to do what's best for our family, our legacy." It's easy to envision Deion viewing the CFL not as a step down, but as a strategic detour, a football grad school for Shedeur, where he can develop outside the NFL pressure cooker, all while keeping the cameras rolling and the brand growing. Deion himself once played professional baseball while maintaining an NFL career. The man knows versatility, he knows spectacle, and he knows timing. If he believes the NFL isn't ready for Shedeur, he might just look at Canada as the next best move. The business of football, let's not kid ourselves. Money matters. The CFL won't be able to offer anything close to NFL rookie salaries, but with NIL deals, endorsement clout, and a savvy business team around him, Shedeur might not need the NFL right away to stay financially afloat. A 1 or 2 year stint in Toronto, paired with a high-profile media presence, could turn into a business case study in long-term brand building. The Argonauts, in return, would gain not just a quarterback, they'd gain a cultural icon, a ticket seller, a human highlight reel. Their merchandise would spike, ratings would climb, American networks would start airing CFL games with renewed interest. It's a win-win, assuming egos, expectations, and ambitions align.